The maypole is a symbol of fertility and also the king's phallus. During the month of May, in many places around the world, there are various festivals celebrated by playing music, singing, and dancing around the king's phallus that we now call the maypole. In addition to the music, singing, and dancing, there are also climbing contests to see who can climb the king's phallus the fastest, with loads of beer as the big prize. These poles are erected on or around the first day of May, with festivities lasting all throughout the month, and in particular on May Day.
Whenever life gets you down, keeps you wearing a frown, and the gravy train has left you behind, and when you're all out of hope, down at the end of your rope, and nobody's there to throw you a line. If you ever get so low that you don't know which way to go, come on and take a walk in my shoes. Never worry about a thing, got the world on a string, 'cause I've got the cure for all of his blues. I take a look at my enormous penis.
The maypole is a modern-day portable ancient phallic symbol that is meant to represent the male generative powers in the phallus, which is really just an idol or image of an erect penis. They have been worshipped for thousands of years as a reminder of the sacred act of sex, what it represents, and also the phallus of the kings who rule the world. They are also called obelisks that can be found all throughout the world in places such as Egypt, Ethiopia, India, Rome, where there are 8 ancient Egyptian and 5 ancient Roman obelisks, and in America with the phallus of the first Masonic President, George Washington, more commonly known today as the Washington Monument. The original story is from ancient Egypt, when Osiris's body was cut in 14 pieces. Seth scattered them all over Egypt, and his wife, Isis, retrieved all of them except one, his penis, which was swallowed by a fish. The king Osiris, who represents the so below of the as above and the king of the planets, Jupiter, was now dead, and the queen Isis, whose name means throne, or she of the throne, would take the place of the true king. In Greco-Egypt, she was sometimes called the dark goddess and goddess of hell, that was also often depicted carrying a phallic object, the king's severed penis. The month of May was named for the Greek goddess Maya, who was identified with the Roman-era goddess of fertility, Bona Dea, whose festival was held in May, which is the month of autumn in the southern hemisphere and spring in the northern hemisphere. Mary devotions to the Blessed Virgin Mary refers to special Marian devotions held in the Catholic Church during the month of May, honoring the Virgin Mary as the Queen of May. May crowning is a traditional Roman Catholic ritual that occurs in the month of May of every year. In some countries, it takes place on or about May 1st. However, in many United States Catholic parishes, it takes place on Mother's Day. The queens in our society would represent the Blessed Virgin Mary, who in ancient Egypt was called by the name of Isis. In Egypt, the acting queen, Cleopatra, would always appear in public clothed in a robe sacred to Isis, her head adorned with a crown of golden lily leaves. Today, in Roman Catholicism, the month of May is dedicated to the Blessed Virgin Mary, whose devotion arose among the Jesuits in Rome in the late 18th century and quickly spread throughout the Western Church. The current Pope Francis is a Jesuit. The earliest reference to the maypole is from the mid-14th century, and in Austria and Germany, as in most Bavarian communities, a maypole is raised on the 1st of May, a tradition going back to the 16th century. It is a decorated tree or tree trunk that is usually erected either on May 1st or on the evening before. Villages of Upper Bavaria renew their Maypole once every 3, 4, or 5 years. What is interesting is that this month is also when Adam Weishaupt, aka Brother Spartacus, formed the Order of the Perfectibilists, more commonly known today as the Bavarian Illuminati, a secret society that was founded on May 1st, 1776 in a Freemason lodge. 33rd degree Freemason Albert Mackay had said in his Encyclopedia of Freemasonry and its Kindred Arts, Illuminism came directly and professedly in conflict with the Jesuits and with the Roman Church, whose tendencies were to repress the freedom of thought. The priests became, therefore, its active enemies and waged war so successfully against it that on June 22, 1784, the Elector of Bavaria issued an edict of its suppression. Adopting Masonry only as a means of its own more successful propagation and using it only as an incidental to its own organization, it exercised, while in prosperity, no favorable influence on the Masonic institution, nor any unfavorable effect on it by its dissolution. In the 16th century, with the advent of the Protestant religion, which is essentially anti-Pope Christians, the Protestants viewed these Maypole celebrations as immoral and a form of idolatry. The then Protestant king of both England and Wales, Edward VI, had ordered that these Maypoles to be destroyed, such as the famous Cornhill Maypole of London. However, this suppression by the Protestants would not last long, because after King Edward's death, the Roman Catholic Queen Mary I, who we know now represents Isis, had ascended the throne, and she reinstated these yearly celebrations during the month of May, along with the erection of the king's phallus, aka the Maypole.
Calling everyone I could think of, I was starting to get very depressed, so I went to the Kiev and ate breakfast. Then as I walked down 2nd Avenue towards St. Mark's Place, where all those people sell used books and other junk on the street, I saw my penis lying on a blanket next to a broken toaster oven. Some guy was selling it. I had to buy it off him. He wanted $22, but I talked him down to 17. I took it home, washed it off, and put it back on. I was happy again, complete. People sometimes tell me I should get it permanently attached, but I don't know. Even though sometimes it's a pain in the ass, I like having a detachable penis.